For over 100 years, the Bank of Moundville has been a name clients can trust. The Bank of Moundville is more than just a bank. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Their unique approach to financial education has always centered around families. They believe that financially strong homes today lay the foundation for a brighter futures for tomorrow's generation. You can call them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is 371-2227 to schedule an appointment to build your financial security. The Bank of Moundville is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. It is Monday. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend out there in the SEC and in college football, as we are down to 3 undefeated teams in college football remaining: Texas A&M, Ohio State, and Indiana, as BYU went down and looked horribly to Texas Tech this past Saturday. So we're down to 3 undefeated teams, and one of them is Texas A&M right here in the SEC.
Stephen, I think this past weekend, and I'm almost absolutely certain on this, was the very first weekend no one in the top 10 lost. I think it's the first time this entire season no one in the top 10 lost. Oregon almost lost.
Yeah.
They had that last-second comeback. Indiana almost lost. They had that crazy play at the end. But I think this is the absolute first weekend of 2025 that we did not have a team in the top 10 to lose. Absolutely amazing. That's what's made the season so fun.
I believe you are correct. I was thinking back about that, and I think you are correct on that. All right, so let's go on ahead and begin the pre-show with today being November the 10th. And we are going to begin with the National Day of Today. And there is only one thing on the National Day of Today that has to do with food, Heath. And we all love food. Today is National Vanilla Cupcake Day.
Vanilla cup?
Cupcake.
Oh, vanilla cupcake.
Vanilla Cupcake Day.
Yeah. I kind of like the yellow, the what do you call it? Breading cupcake. I don't know what you call it. I kind of like that more than the chocolate. And I'm a chocoholic. I love chocolate. But vanilla cupcakes are right. I hadn't had one, and I can't tell you when. But if you had one right now, I haven't had breakfast. I know that.
I'm not a big cupcake kind of guy. I'm just not.
So, if you look at some of the teams in the SEC, lots of cupcakes on their schedule this year, I bet.
And it all begins, I believe, this weekend as Tennessee takes on New Mexico. So there you go.
Yeah, they got New Mexico or New Mexico State, one or the other. But yeah, they got one of them. Yep. Both are cupcakes. But, you're about to start seeing a lot of folks in other conferences complain about the SEC. Some of these teams that are about to make the playoff are flirting with the playoff, and they're going to be talking about where are the, wins. What teams did you beat that are worth a darn?
Yeah.
I mean, you start looking around, there's a lot of teams in the SEC who haven't played anybody this year. All of their wins are against teams that are not ranked right now.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot out there. So get ready for that conversation. Start that argument if you want.
All right. Now, when we go to the national history of today, there are 2 things I want to talk about. Can you tell me what major cartoon debuted on this day in 1969 and people still love it to this day?
I want to say Scooby-Doo came out around that time. Nope, not Scooby-Doo.
But this is not it.
What you got?
Sesame Street debuted on November the 10th of 1969 on National Educational TV.
Wow. Wow, that's kind of crazy to think about. Steven, I got you pegged. Let's see. I'm trying to think of your favorite character on Sesame Street. Um, you're not an Oscar the Grouch guy. You are a. I don't know if you're a Big Bird kind of guy. I don't know. Who was your favorite on Sesame Street?
I don't think I ever watched one episode, dude. I never liked that. I don't know. I never got into it. I guess Kermit the Frog. I don't know.
It's a super random story. It actually involves Kermit the Frog. In third grade, I was at South Haven Elementary, and we had to name. They had a contest, and there was three different elementary schools in South Haven. One was Hope Sullivan, South Haven Elementary, Greenbrook Elementary. I went to South Haven Elementary, and the high school was starting a newspaper. Now this is like 1984, maybe 85, maybe 83. I can't remember how old I was in third grade. But anyway, they had a contest, and so you have to make a suggestion. If it won in your homeroom, it would go to the rest of the grade. If it won there, it challenged the other winners for your school. If it won there, it challenged the others from the other elementary schools, and then they picked the winner. The high school staff picked it. So I thought of Kermit the Frog because on Sesame Street he did Sesame Street News Flash.
Hmm.
And so I called it the Charger. South Haven was the Chargers. And I said, how about the Charger News Flash? And they accepted it. Mine won all the way up, and they named the paper the Charger Flash. So
Wow.
thank you to Kermit the Frog and Sesame Street because I got to name the school newspaper. It's still the Charger Flash today. I got to name
All
that
right.
thing way back in third grade.
Congratulations on that, my friend.
That's gotten me nowhere over the years.
Heath, let's go ahead and talk about another thing that happened in technology on this day in 1983. So, can you tell me what major um, operating system was released on November the 10th of 1983?
Oh, it's got to be Steve Jobs and one of his Apple products, either the Apple or the Apple II.
No,
No, does it have anything to
no.
do with Microsoft?
Windows 1.0 is introduced on November the 10th of 1983, and we still have Windows today.
Wow, I remember when oh gosh, maybe Windows 98 came out. I was in
Mhm.
college, and I mean there was a news story about it, and man, there were nerds camped out at the store, and they were celebrating like they won you know a jackpot or something. And I was like, why are you so excited about computer stuff? But they were, and they were like all freaking out about it. So, wow, the very first Windows 1.0 came out today. I don't even know what we are on now.
I don't either.
I mean, I know years ago they started changing. It was like Windows 98, then it went to like Windows Adobe or something, and then I don't even know what they got now.
Heath, I'm a Mac guy. I'm an Apple guy.
Yeah, I am
I'm
too.
talking to you on a MacBook Pro.
Yeah, I'm on a Mac as well. So
So, yeah.
there you go. Wow. All right. So celebrate, nerds. Have fun with your Windows.
Speaking of funny, the final thing that we're going to do before we start the Stingray show is Heath. Today is the birthday, and this guy is still living. Now, I have not watched any of his stand up stuff, but he was a major star in the movie Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is a well known actor as well as a stand up comedian, born on November the 10th of 1956, Sinbad. So,
Oh, Sinbad was funny, man.
so, I thought we would do our fave five comedians of all time, with it being Sinbad's birthday. So, first off, happy birthday to the comedian and actor Sinbad. And Heath, go ahead and give me your top five comedians of all time.
Oh, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put Dennis Miller number one just because he makes me laugh. how he tells his stories and he makes his jokes 18 minutes long just makes me laugh all the time.
Right.
I'm gonna put Jeff Foxworthy number two. I'm probably gonna put Norm Macdonald at number three. Love Norm and his stuff. Let's see. Bill Engvall tells some funny stories.
Yes.
I like Ron White, but he's not gonna make my top five.
No.
Um,
He's too
just
dirty, man.
to
He's
wrap it
too
up,
dirty.
I'll do Bill. Yeah, I'll do Bill Engvall, and then um, you know what? I forgot two guys that I absolutely love, and I just thought about them. I absolutely love Chris Rock's comedy.
Yes.
Sometimes he gets a little raunchy, but Chris Rock. The reason Chris Rock is so funny because he tells the truth. Love his stuff. Just love his stuff. And Adam Sandler, man. How can you forget the Sandman?
Yeah.
I bought his CDs back in college. Still every now and again, if I'm on a long road trip, I'll listen to those things, and I've heard those things 100 times. They're still funny. So yeah, I'll throw in those guys.
All
What about
right.
you?
I'm going to do an honorable mention of George Carlin, although he was really, really raunchy. And he started out, the first thing that he was known for was the hippy dippy weatherman.
Yeah, he had that great thing with baseball versus football.
Yeah.
That's still legendary. Love that.
All right. At number five, I am going with Sinbad because of his acting and especially in that movie Jingle All the Way. At number four, I'm going with Gabriel Iglesias, aka Fluffy. I have seen him in person and I really like his stand up stuff. At number three, I am going with Jeff Dunham because the
Oh yeah.
ventriloquist with Walter and Ahmed and Peanut and Bubba J. Really like him. At number two, I am going with Bill Engvall because I have seen Bill Engvall in person as well, and he is absolutely fantastic. And at number one, Heath, I'm going with a guy that I just recently found out about. He is hilarious. If you have not watched him, look him up on social media and especially Facebook. I am going with Arnaz J.
Okay. I don't know any of his stuff, but
Dude, I'll send you some of his stuff. He's pretty good.
yeah, Sinbad, man. Sinbad had some great stand-ups back in the early 90s. Sinbad was the comedian back in the early
Yeah.
90s. Very, very funny guy. Jerry Seinfeld had some great stuff. I'm starting to
Mhm.
think of some guys over the years, but but yeah, I'll never forget Adam Sandler doing his stand-up shows. And when I was in college, he had one here in Memphis, and
Mhm.
um, I had just transferred and went to Mississippi State and couldn't make it back for it. And I knew some folks leaving Starkville went up there. They said it was the most fun time they ever had. It was absolutely hilarious. Then I got mad at myself. But I want to say he played at like the field house on campus at University of Memphis. That place is tiny. That's where
Yeah.
the women's basketball team plays. And so, but they said it was jam packed in there and he kept everybody in stitches.
And the final thing I will say, another honorable mention for me is Kevin Hart. He's pretty good.
Oh yeah, Kevin Hart is funny. He's a funny, funny guy. You know, Dennis Miller. It never really worked with him on Monday Night Football,
Yeah.
but he was so funny. And I watch Monday Night Football anyway. I think the Cowboys are on tonight. Cowboys and Raiders, I think. But I absolutely just lost it many o times listening to Dennis Miller on Monday Night Football because he would make some random reference and it would always make me because he did it on purpose. He'd make a
Right.
random reference that most people wouldn't get, and it would just tickle me every time he did it.
Tonight on Monday Night Football at 7:15, I hate to correct you, it is the Eagles at the Packers.
Oh, well, there you go.
Eagles at the Packers on Monday Night Football. So, with that, are you ready to stop talking about comedians and talk about week 11 of college football right here on the Stingray Show?
Always, brother. I am ready to talk SEC football any time of day.
All right, so we are going to run a couple of our ads for our advertisers. And when we come back after the advertisers, we are going to begin the Stingray Show this morning, talking about all of the action in week number 11 of college football in the SEC. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Ferguson of South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show, has a message for you.
Everything we do here is fresh and custom made, custom to order. I tell people when they come in, if you don't see what you like, ask somebody. We've got the capability to process it, make it. If you want a different blend of hamburger meat, we'll do your brisket blend. We'll do your chuck blend. We'll do your sirloin blend. We do all that right here. We are a butcher shop. It's what we do. So please don't be afraid to ask if you don't see what you like. We can make you any size patty you want. We can make you any amount you want. People call me and say, well, how many patties come in the box? Well, ma'am, how many would you like in a box? You want 12, we'll put 12. You want 25, we'll put 25.
That's just one of the many things that South's Finest Meats has to offer, the official butcher shop of the Stingray Show. How about those Kentucky Wildcats? 2 weeks ago, everybody wanted Mark Stoops to be gone and for them to move on. Then they go down to Auburn and they knock off the Auburn Tigers, sending Hugh Freeze on his way. And then they come back home and they have a huge historic win over the Florida Gators, a team that dominated them over the past decade. This week and was an incredible showing for a lot of football teams and one that really struggled to get a win. Heath and I are going to discuss all of the ins and outs of this past weekend of week 11 right here on this edition of the Stingray Show.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Look out, you're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Heath, Stingray, Here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah. But then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, with the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And with that, I want to welcome you back inside another edition of the Stingray Show right here on social media. And Heath, let's go ahead and begin the SEC talk about what I talked about off the top of the show right there. The Kentucky Wildcats and Mark Stoops left for dead, and then they roll off 2 in a row. And this past Saturday with the win over Florida, it was the first home win for Kentucky versus an SEC opponent in 2 seasons, and they did it in historic fashion of 38-7 over the Florida Gators.
Yeah, Stephen, looking at that, Mississippi State had that long losing streak. They snapped it. They did theirs on the road. Mississippi State currently has the longest home SEC losing streak, but the current longest losing streak in the SEC, I don't know who it is, but my first guess would either be Auburn or Florida. So those 2 teams, it's not looking good, man.
No, it's not. And now with that win over Florida, there is a decent chance that Kentucky can make a bowl game, and they've got Tennessee Tech, I think, either this weekend or next weekend. And so things are really shaping up well for the Kentucky Wildcats as we move down the stretch to continue to build with their star homegrown quarterback of Boley up there in Lexington.
Stephen, I'm just looking at the schedule. It's going to be Arkansas with the longest losing streak
Yes.
because Auburn and Florida got that win over Texas, and you had the Auburn-Arkansas game here recently. So,
Right.
Yeah, wow, how quickly it changes. Here's the fun thing. Lou Holt said this years ago. Any Saturday, half the teams in America lose, the other half wins.
Yeah.
And same thing in the SEC. Not all the SEC teams play SEC conference game every week, but some weeks we do, and half the conference is going to lose. And that's where we are right now. So it's getting quite interesting. But looking at Kentucky very quickly, Stephen, before we move on, they got Tennessee Tech this weekend, so it looks like they're going to make it 3 in a row. Then they're at Vandy, and then they got Louisville. So that Vandy game is going to be tough. Can they win it? Sure. If they've been playing like they have the last month. And then Louisville, I think they're going to win that one. But going back, man, they almost beat Tennessee. They had a shootout with Tennessee.
Texas.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, in Texas as well. They played overtime in Texas, but they scored 30-something points against Tennessee, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're playing some really good football. So since Georgia, they had an off week. They have been on fire since that off week. They lost 2 games, Texas and Tennessee, but they beat Auburn. They beat Florida. Now they got Tennessee Tech. So look at Kentucky getting on a win streak to finish out the season.
All right, so let's talk about the opposite side of the conference and talk about the top half. And Heath, I've got to be honest with you. I still have major questions about the Crimson Tide of Alabama here in Tuscaloosa. That was a struggle win over a really bad LSU football team. Alabama still cannot find a way to run the football. I think that's going to catch up with them later on this season if they cannot start to run the football. In this era of college football, you cannot be one-dimensional, and Alabama is one-dimensional right now. That will cost them down the stretch.
Yeah, it will. I mean, can this Alabama team figure it out? Possibly. I still think they can, Stephen. I'm confused on this Alabama team.
And they're still having issues running the football, and I don't know.
Yeah, I have not been impressed with them running the ball. That's for sure. And you're starting to wonder, is it play calling? Is it a blocking problem? Is it a talent problem? I don't think it's a talent problem. Is it a blocking problem? Maybe.
Right.
But is it one of those things? If it's a blocking problem, it's one of 2 things. Either they can't run block, or they're hitting the wrong guy. They're doing the wrong assignments, and that's coaching. So they're looking great through the air, though. It's in that situation. I have question marks about Alabama. I mean, if the playoffs started today, I don't have faith in Alabama to go far at all. So it's going to be interesting. At the same time, just like Kentucky kind of figured things out, just like LSU's defense figured it out during Joe Burrow's Heisman year, and they won the national title. That LSU defense was atrocious until like the last half of November, and then they looked outstanding. They looked outstanding in the SEC championship game, and through the playoffs, they just got better and better and better. And so by the championship game, that LSU defense was legit. So is there hope for Alabama? Possibly. Is there hope for this offensive line to figure it out and run blocking? Possibly. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you, Stephen. There's something going on, and they're not running the ball. But you got to remember, he came from a Pac-10 school when the Pac-10 was still a thing. He came from a Pac-10 school. And DeBoer, they don't run it a lot in the Pac-10. They just don't.
And Heath, let me also say this. The offensive line had issues at times protecting Ty Simpson, especially with that strip sack there in the second half in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Oklahoma, man. They're coming into Tuscaloosa this week. I don't
Off
think
of a
Oklahoma.
bye week. Off of a bye week. Look
Yeah,
out.
I don't think they have the firepower to beat Alabama. If John Mateer was healthy, the receivers were healthy, maybe, but I'm not buying it. But can they? Sure. I don't know. There's so many questions. There shouldn't be question marks in November. There's a lot of question marks in the SEC. A
Yeah.
lot of question marks. Hey, Steven, just looking over the schedule really quick. Who does well, I'll let you answer. Who are the quality wins for Alabama this season? I see two.
Oh, I thought you were going to rate it off.
No,
Rate off
no.
the
I
same.
just
Okay.
see two quality wins, and I will for you. I see Georgia and I see Tennessee.
I would say Vanderbilt.
You can throw in Vandy. You absolutely can throw in Vandy. I'm okay with that. So, I mean,
I don't know about Tennessee yet.
yeah.
Tennessee, I don't know.
But looking at Georgia, I mean, I think they got two quality wins.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Tennessee and they got Ole Miss.
But on the flip side of that, A&M only has one, and that would be at Notre Dame. Because every other team that they faced have either fired their coach or Missouri this past weekend was on a third string quarterback.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I'll go through that before I get to Ole Miss. But A&M, and don't get me wrong, that win at Notre Dame was
It was
huge.
big.
And if they had to play again, I don't know if they win or not. But Auburn fired their coach. Mississippi State,
Yep.
Florida fired their coach. At Arkansas fired their coach. At LSU fired their coach.
Yep.
So yeah, they've played everyone that's been fired.
Yep.
Ole Miss. I'm going to go through the entire schedule super quick. You tell me where the quality win is. Just tell me the top two quality wins that they have. All right, Georgia State at home, at Kentucky, Arkansas at home, Tulane at home,
Tulane.
LSU at home, Washington State at home, lost to at Georgia, at Oklahoma.
At Oklahoma.
Okay, so there's one. South Carolina at home, the Citadel at home, and they have Florida at home, and they're on the road at Mississippi State for the Egg Bowl.
Tulane is right up there in that mix of a group of five that could get into the playoffs. You could say that one. Other than that, you've got to hope that Oklahoma continues to win, because if they fall flat, that's not going to be a good look for Ole Miss, because really they won't have any quality wins after that.
Yeah,
That Georgia game was crucial for them, and they blew it.
Is Tulane ranked?
No,
I don't think they are.
I don't think. Hold on.
You can look at that, but Oklahoma is the only quality win, and just looking at Oklahoma's schedule, they could lose to Bama, then they got Missouri, and they got LSU. So, wow. I mean, if Oklahoma loses to Bama,
Tulane is not ranked.
yeah. So there you go. So the only win they got is at Oklahoma. What's Oklahoma ranked currently? They were like 12 in the playoff.
They're 12 in the AP right now.
Yeah, I don't understand that. But
all right, let me look at Tulane real quick.
Yeah, you look at Tulane. I'm going to look at Oklahoma.
Tulane is 7-2. Tulane's 7-2, so they're not a bad squad.
They're not a bad squad. But go through Oklahoma's game while you're looking at that. Illinois State, Michigan. Michigan hasn't been good.
No.
Temple, Auburn fired their coach. Kent State, not good. Lost the game to Texas.
Yep.
South Carolina, Ole Miss, at Tennessee. So, I mean, they've really only got, one quality win at Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
and they wrap up with Bama, Missouri, LSU. I mean, I'm telling you, man, when you start looking at quality wins in the SEC, they're just not there for most of the schools.
No.
So maybe Vandy has the most quality wins.
I don't know about that either.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. No, they don't. No, Vandy doesn't. I mean, this is crazy, Stephen.
I mean,
we're here in
Georgia
November. We got a couple of weeks left. There's no quality wins.
I know. It's crazy. But we'll find out, dude. It's just going to be interesting, and especially with Alabama and Oklahoma this weekend.
Yeah, I think for the entire SEC, and just looking at this, I haven't done a deep dive, but just looking at what we're talked about here in the past couple of minutes, the SEC really needs Oklahoma to keep winning. Of course, Bama wants to get the win over them, and it's probably best for the SEC if Bama wins. But they really need Oklahoma to finish out the season strong, because if Oklahoma tanks and falls out of the rankings, if they lose 2 of the last 3 or 3 of the last 3, which I don't think will happen,
right?
If they lose 2 of the last 3, they might even be ranked, and no one's going to have quality wins.
And let me also say this: hey, they need Texas A&M to not do a nosedive either, and I don't think I see that happening, because they've got South Carolina that is limping into that game on Saturday.
Yeah, and then they got a non-conference game with Samford, and then they got Texas on a Friday. Yes. They got them on Black Friday.
Yes.
So they moved the Egg Bowl to Black Friday, and neither school likes that. Mm-hmm. Both schools hate that.
All right. So, Heath, briefly, let's talk about the other team. And I think this team has just completely laid it on I think that they have just given up and laid down. I think it's the Florida Gators. You cannot lose to Kentucky 38-7 and have DJ Lagway benched like that. Their body language on Saturday evening, it looked like that team had completely given up on this season.
Yeah. People don't do this anymore. It's been a while since we've seen this, but it used to be a thing when you fired the coach, you'd let them finish out the season.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing that now. I think if Billy Napier was around, I think that team would have rallied and played for Billy. Billy upset Texas. Billy did this last year. He upset some teams randomly. He almost upset Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Put one, previous play under review in Birmingham changed that game with Georgia and Florida. But, you look at Florida, you look at them last year, and they would randomly win games. They beat Ole Miss last year.
Yes.
So you look at this, and if Billy Napier stayed around, they probably could have won some more games. And I think Florida was probably worried that, hey, if we keep Billy around, he beats either excuse me. Sorry about that. I hadn't had coffee. I hadn't had anything. I didn't have anything to eat or drink this morning. But
you need to get with it.
Yeah. If you look at the last few games for Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State, and it's like, what if he wins 2 of those 3? What if he wins all 3? Now we have to keep him. I get that. But also, if you fire the coach and say he's going to finish out the season, even if he wins those 3 games, even better for the coach coming in next year.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why you let guys go and tell them they cannot finish out the season. I do get it. But I don't know, man. Those seniors wrapping up their career, you want to give them as many wins as possible and give them the best chance possible. And I don't even know, Steven, is Florida even up for a bowl? I don't think they are. Yeah. So I don't know. I would have kept Billy around to finish out the season. Like, hey, we're going to announce we're making a change. We're going to let you finish out the season and just kind of go from there. But yeah, this Florida team, man. Ole Miss is going to run the score up on them. Tennessee's going to beat them like a drum. I don't know. There might be some hope in that Florida State game.
Long Island, Texas, and Mississippi State are the only 3 wins for the Florida Gators. Nope, no bowl game.
Yeah, because they lost to South Florida.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yes.
Yikes. Mississippi State, they've lost some good teams, but they've lost some bad teams.
Yeah.
They really have.
Yes.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
And Heath, let's be honest about Mississippi State to wrap up. That was just a talent issue between Mississippi State and Georgia there on Saturday. Mississippi State kept it close in the first half, and then Georgia's talent took over in the second half. And don't know any word about Blake Shapen just yet, but man, it looks like that they've got to go with KT. He moved that offense so well down the field there on Saturday and only scored the touchdowns that Mississippi State had was because of KT.
Yeah, I see both sides of that story. I mean, if Shapen's got a separated shoulder, that's the rumor. I don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
Someone texted me that, and they do not know. They said, "Hey, I'm hearing this." Like, I haven't heard a thing. I haven't asked. I'm not trying to find out right now. But if it is a separated shoulder, that's probably going to do it for his career.
Yes.
He's a senior, and you hate to see a senior go out like that. Kamario Taylor has been great off the bench. Can he lead from beginning to end? Now teams get to scheme against him. The other teams have been scheming against Shapen.
Right.
And Kamario Taylor was the wrinkle. Well, if you're no longer the wrinkle, they can plan against you. And I firmly believe if you're playing true freshmen, every true freshman you start equals a loss.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State, man, that's wow. I will say this. They got Missouri this weekend, and Missouri's very banged up, but that Missouri defense is still very talented.
Yeah.
That Missouri defense is intense. So, but you have a chance. It might be a good old rock fight. The first one to 14 wins.
Yeah, that's correct. So, Heath, anything else that you want to talk about with the SEC for Week 11 before we turn the page to Week 12 tomorrow, when we will be talking about Arkansas and LSU?
Man, that used to be such a fun game. I think it might be fun this year. Both teams are kind of struggling. Both teams have lost their head coaches. Two of them have a different vibe for sure. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting, to say the least, with Arkansas and LSU because they're not really fighting over the same head coaches. So, prospects they want to bring in. But it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to turn out. What about you, Stephen? This LSU offense is the most confusing thing I've seen in a long time. People were talking about Garrett Nussmeier to be the Heisman favorite out of the SEC this year. They were talking about he was the Heisman favorite, led the conference in passing last year,
Yes.
and now they can't do Jack Diddley Poo squat.
I know.
I don't get
It's
it.
just disappointing, man, but we'll find out. And we'll talk with Logan Stokes, former tight end of LSU, about that tomorrow. And Heath, let me also say this in parting. It was a wonderful weekend in the SEC, and we will see you back here on the Stingray Show tomorrow morning, right back here at 8 o'clock, when we will be joined by two people for Arkansas and for LSU for a preview of the boot. That is the big bronze statue. That is the rivalry game between LSU and almost said Ole Miss, LSU and Arkansas. And Heath, we will see you then.
Coach Nutt talked about that trophy. He said it's a beautiful trophy, but I know that thing's big.
And Heath will ask Logan Stokes just about how tough and how heavy it is tomorrow.
Well, you know what, Stephen? Tomorrow after the show, we'll talk about the biggest trophy in college football. I bet most of you don't know what it is.
Hey, what do you want to talk about after we do these little bit of advertisings when we come back for the post show? What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about... You know what? Let's talk about playoffs. We'll talk about the playoffs. who's getting in, who's not getting in from the SEC. We still got basically a month left. Who's going to make it, who's not going to make it, in our conference championship games from other conferences going to influence who's going to get in and not get in from the SEC. I think it will.
All right, we will do that right after this. We all enjoy the changing of the seasons. Fall is a special time to be thankful for our families and many blessings. It is also a great time, though, to review your insurance coverages. Alpha Insurance and hometown agent Jeff Nee can help you personalize your insurance needs. The more you protect, the more you save. With helpful customer service teams right here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi, you can count on Alpha to provide the insurance plan that provides the protection that you need. For all your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call Alpha agent Jeff Nee or drop by his office at 202 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite 101 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And remember, with Jeff Nee, the more you protect, the more you save. I am representing a clothing company right here in Tuscaloosa that is called J&J Apparel. If you like the Mississippi State shirt that I have on, you can find all of their Mississippi State apparel as well as Auburn, Alabama, and Ole Miss at jnjapparel.com. They are located right here in Tuscaloosa, but they also have other merchandise for other SEC schools as well. So once again, if you do like this polo that I've got on and the Walking Bulldog, go to jnjapparel.com and get all of your SEC merch right there for Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, and Mississippi State with J&J Apparel. All right, so we are officially in the post show, and Heath, you want to talk about which teams are going to make the playoffs and which aren't. And I'm going to be honest with you, from the SEC, I think Texas and I think Oklahoma are just on the outside looking in.
I think that's fair. I mean, currently the top five in the SEC, A&M at 1, Bama 2, Georgia 3, Ole Miss 4, Texas 5, Vanderbilt's right there at 6, Oklahoma 7, Tennessee 8.
Yep.
I bet I don't know. But here's the thing, Stephen. Let's just say A&M and Alabama finish the season undefeated. I think we all see that happening. I mean, Oklahoma could win in Tuscaloosa this weekend. But you know what? We'll play both scenarios real quick. Let's just say Alabama finishes out. Well, Texas A&M and Alabama, one of them's going to lose.
Yeah.
And it would probably be best for the conference if A&M lost, because if Bama loses, is that going to drop them out of the playoff picture?
Right.
We know one of them's got a loss coming because they got to play each other. So that's the thing you got to think about. That's going to put Bama at 2 losses.
You said A&M and Alabama, right?
That's who's 1 and 2 right now in the conference.
All right, and they got to play each other, and that would be in the SEC championship. So the SEC championship winner gets the automatic bid.
Right, but the loser is, if A&M's the loser, A&M's in because they'll be undefeated.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we could play this game all day, and we won't play it long. They could lose to Texas, just like Bama could lose to Oklahoma. Bama could lose to Auburn. I don't see that happening. But if they finish the regular season undefeated and they lose, I mean, Stephen, let's just say that A&M goes in there and they start running the ball right at Bama, and Bama sells out. They start throwing it, and they just can't stop them. And let's just say the score gets ugly. And let's say A&M wins, 45-21. I mean, they doubled them up in score. Let's just say it's ugly. Do you think Bama with 2 losses is going to get any love after the SEC championship game to get into the playoffs?
No.
especially after that fiasco a couple of years ago with Florida State.
No.
I don't think that comes into play. But I think with some of the people on the committee, it might. I don't know, man. I'm just seeing this because there's going to be losses coming, especially in the conference championship game. Georgia's kind of in that sweet spot, that number 3 spot. They don't have to play the SEC championship.
Right.
They're in the playoff. I mean, they're good to go. But I will say this: Georgia still got Georgia Tech.
Yeah, unless they lose to Georgia Tech, then all bets are off.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things here, but
And Heath, that game's in Atlanta this year too. That's at Bobby Dodd Stadium. It's not in Athens.
So I mean, but look at the Big 12. Or excuse me, let's look at the Big 10 first.
I think Texas Tech is it, and that's it.
We'll start with Big 10, then we'll go to Big 12. But
Right.
you got Indiana, Ohio State, and of all teams, USC are the top 3 teams there. I mean, so Indiana, Ohio State, USC, Oregon, Michigan. Oregon is barely getting by right now. If Oregon loses a game, and I don't know their schedule, but that's it for Oregon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm telling you, man, this Indiana and Ohio State, one of them is going to lose.
Well, that's right, because they have to face each other in the Big Ten championship.
Right. So, I mean, there's losses coming. Now getting to the Big 12. This is where it gets fun. No one's undefeated in the Big 12 anymore. All right. There's not a single team in conference or overall that's undefeated.
No.
Right now, the top 2 teams is Texas Tech and BYU.
Yeah.
Here are your top 5. Texas Tech, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, Utah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think any of those teams get in other than BYU or Texas Tech, because all of those have multiple losses other than those 2.
Yeah. Cincinnati on down have multiple losses. Currently, BYU is 8-1 overall, 5-1 in conference play. Texas Tech's 9-1, 6-1 in conference play. And so another one's going to get a loss. So I'm with you. That's a 1-bid league right now. Now
ACC as well.
Yeah. Georgia Tech is at top of the standings at 5-1, 8-1 overall. Virginia is in second. This is funny, Stephen. 5-1 in conference, 8-2. Everybody in the ACC has 2 or more losses except for Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
The ACC is a 1-bid league. It is going to be a 1-bid league. I mean, Stephen, this is insane of what's going on. So I do see where the SEC could get some teams in, because the ACC, I think, is only going to get 1 in. You feel different about that?
No, but I think the Big Ten could get 2.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Big Ten.
I think Ohio State and Indiana could get in, so that's 2. And then I think 4 from the SEC, so that's 6. And I think a group of 5 does get in this year.
I will not be shocked, and I don't know how the standings are like this currently in the Big Ten. Again, Indiana's in first place in the Big Ten, 10-0 overall. Ohio State 9-0 overall in second. USC 7-2, but at 8-1 is Oregon, and they're right there at number 10.
Yeah.
Oregon could sneak it. You know what? It might come down to, like, let's look at the SEC. Oregon is going, either Oregon or an SEC team is going to squeeze in. And let's throw it out there. Ole Miss, who I think is going to win the Egg Bowl this year. I think Ole Miss wins out. But if Ole Miss loses a game, whether that be to Florida or to Mississippi State, Oregon and Ole Miss are going to be borderline. Texas, they still got to play A&M.
Yeah.
That's going to be a borderline team.
Yeah.
Here's Vanderbilt, everyone's favorite. But they still got to play Tennessee. I mean, Stephen, this is getting intense. I usually don't ever think about these things. I just let it play out. But Vandy's got Kentucky, who is red hot right now,
Yep.
and at Tennessee. They've got two really hard games coming up, and they didn't look great against Vanderbilt.
You mean
Or,
Auburn?
against Auburn. Vanderbilt did not look good against Auburn.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma can still weasel their way in, but Oklahoma has to win out. Oklahoma has to win out. Tennessee, I don't think they can do it, man. They got 3 conference losses.
Right.
I just don't think they can do it. So here you go, SEC fans. A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma are still in the running. After this weekend, it's going to dwindle down.
Heath, crazy stat of the day to finish up the Stingray show. 4 years ago, James Madison was in the transitioning from an FCS program to an FBS program. They are 4 wins away from becoming the Group of 5 team to get a playoff bid if they win out.
You know what? It would be a great story. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I really wanted Memphis to do it. Memphis couldn't take care of business Friday night. So that is what it is. I'm telling you, Stephen, this college football season has been so fun. Thanks, Disney, YouTube TV, and everybody else screwing this up for everybody, not being able to watch everything. But this has been a great season. And the coaching carousel is going to be insane.
Yeah.
It's just going to be fun to see out. I can see where the SEC could get. I definitely think the SEC gets 3 teams in. They might get 4. I don't think they get 5. But crazier things have happened. And here's the thing, Stephen. We have had so many upsets. We said at the beginning of the show, in the pre-show. This was the first weekend a top 10 team did not lose. Indiana almost did.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon almost lost as well. So teams are going to lose, even top 10 teams. We've had a top 10 team lose every single week this season until this past Saturday. And we almost had 2 fall. So, I mean, there's going to be losses coming. There's going to be losses.
James Madison has App State on Saturday. They've got Washington State, which is, the Group of 5 now as well. And then they wrap up the season with Coastal Carolina. James Madison is in I believe, the Mountain West. I'm sorry, no, James Madison is in the Sun Belt. If they win out, they are at 8-1 right now. They will be your favorite to get the G5 automatic bid. The other team that very well could get into the playoffs is Conference USA's Kennesaw State, but it's going to be more difficult for them because they are 7-2 right now. So, if you are a fan of the smaller schools and the little guys, you are pulling for James Madison in the Sun Belt Conference to make it to the playoffs. And this is 4 years removed from them making the jump from the FCS to the FBS. And remember, there is that thing where a Group of 5 school and a school that is making the transition from FCS to FBS cannot have a bowl game for 2 seasons after making the transition, and they are 4 wins away from becoming the automatic qualifier for the playoffs.
Steven, I'm looking at Conference USA right now. It used to be such a great conference, but it got rated by absolutely everybody, and no one's there anymore, hardly. But I'm going to run through this. We're going to wrap on this. It's something fun. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to name the school. I'm going to see if you can name the mascot.
Okay.
All right. Kennesaw State.
No.
Owls. Jacksonville State.
Cardinals?
The Gamecocks.
Gamecocks, yeah, okay.
All right. Western Kentucky.
Catamounts.
The Hilltoppers.
I thought you said Western Carolina. My
No,
bad.
Western Kentucky. You're good.
Yeah, Hilltoppers. That's right.
All right. Missouri State.
Tigers?
Bears.
Okay.
Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh, my. The Bears. Liberty.
The Flames.
There you go. Delaware.
The Fighting Blue Hens.
Correct. Louisiana Tech. La Tech.
The Bulldogs.
Correct. Florida International.
Oh, gosh.
I always get Florida International and Florida Atlantic, their mascots, mixed up.
I know Florida Atlantic are the Owls.
Yes. Florida International is
I have no idea.
the Panthers.
Okay.
UTEP.
Miners.
That's right. I used to always make the joke that UTEP stood for University of Tennessee Elvis Presley, not University of Texas El Paso.
Right.
New Mexico State.
Yep.
Go with it. Go with
Aggies?
Yes. Yes. Middle Tennessee.
Blue Raiders.
Correct. And Sam Houston State.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. But, hey, they picked up their first win this weekend against Oregon State. So hats off to them.
Yeah, the Bearcats.
Okay.
With a K. Bearcats, the K in cats is with a K. The Bearcats of Sam Houston State. So, yeah, there you go. Your mascots for your Conference USA team. Dude, if you go back and look at Conference USA in like 2002, it was a stunner conference.
Yes.
It was a stunner conference.
All right. So, Heath, that is going to wrap up the Stingray Show here on this Monday morning. Hope you have thoroughly enjoyed it. When we return tomorrow morning, we are going to be doing a preview of the battle for the Golden Boot between LSU and Arkansas this weekend with Kevin Bohanna and with former LSU tight end Logan Stokes will join us right here on the Stingray Show, and we will catch you on Tuesday morning. Heath, wrap up today and tonight. It is going to be brutally cold out there, but hey, the warmth is coming back pretty soon for the remainder of the week, and we will catch you on the Tuesday morning edition of the Stingray Show right here on social media. And Heath, in the morning, it is going to be a cool, crisp 25 degrees here in Tuscaloosa. Wrap up.
I am so glad I'm going to Key West in 2 weeks. I hate the cold. I am ready. Hey, what did Jimmy Buffett say in Boat Drinks? I just want to go where it's warm.
And Heath, I do have a little bit of breaking news for you. John Stringer, our friend who always comments on the show, I don't know if you saw it on Friday or not, but when we talked about the party that Jackie Sherrill threw at the veranda, John Stringer was in attendance. We have got to get John on the show to talk all about that madness.
Rumor that there was a Tony Dorsett, J.J. Johnson fight. I want to know about that one.
So I'm sure John will be happy to join us to talk about all of that excitement at his at Jackie Sherrill's retirement party.
Yeah, we've got to find some stories out on that one. Every cigar was smoked. Every bottle of liquor was drank dry. They left the place empty. That's crazy.
So, John, hit me up, man, if you want to get on the show and talk about it, because we would love to hear it, okay? Guys, catch you tomorrow right back here on the Stingray Show.
If you missed any of it, check out the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Ferguson of South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show, has a message for you.
Everything we do here is fresh and custom made, custom to order. I tell people when they come in, if you don't see what you like, ask somebody. We've got the capability to process it, make it. If you want a different blend of hamburger meat, we'll do you a brisket blend. We'll do you a chuck blend. We'll do you a sirloin blend. We do all that right here. We are a butcher shop. That's what we do. So please don't be afraid to ask if you don't see what you like. We can make you any size patty you want. We can make you any amount you want. People call me and say, well, how many patties come in the box? Well, ma'am, how many would you like in a box? You want 12, we'll put 12. You want 25, we'll put 25.
That's just one of the many things that South's Finest Meats has to offer, the official butcher shop of the Stingray Show. For over 100 years, the Bank of Moundville has been a name clients can trust. The Bank of Moundville is more than just a bank. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Their unique approach to financial education has always centered around families. They believe that financially strong homes today lay the foundation for a brighter futures for tomorrow's generation. You can call them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is 371-2227 to schedule an appointment to build your financial security. The Bank of Moundville is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. I am representing a clothing company right here in Tuscaloosa that is called J&J Apparel. If you like the Mississippi State shirt that I have on, you can find all of their Mississippi State apparel as well as Auburn, Alabama, and Ole Miss at jnjapparel.com. They are located right here in Tuscaloosa, but they also have other merchandise for other SEC schools as well. So once again, if you do like this polo that I've got on and the Walking Bulldog, go to jnjapparel.com and get all of your SEC merch right there for Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, and Mississippi State with J&J Apparel. We all enjoy the changing of the seasons. Fall is a special time to be thankful for our families and many blessings. It is also a great time, though, to review your insurance coverages. Alpha Insurance and hometown agent Jeff Nee can help you personalize your insurance needs. The more you protect, the more you save. With helpful customer service teams right here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi, you can count on Alpha to provide the insurance plan that provides the protection that you need. For all your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call Alpha agent Jeff Nee or drop by his office at 202 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite 101 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And remember, with Jeff Nee, the more you protect, the more you save. Have a great day, everyone, on social media, and we will catch you on the Stingray Show tomorrow morning with a preview of LSU and Arkansas. Wrap up out there because it is going to be a cold one all across the Southeast. See you tomorrow.